Alright, we're back for the first round, and we're on the draw. I think I'm going to keep this. Being on the draw means we're going to have our higher likelihood of drawing some lands to cast these 3-drops that we have. It is kind of awkward they have double Burden of Guilt because it's going to cost so much to keep their guys tapped, but I think I can see this hand winning the game just by casting these flyers and tapping down the relevant creatures for the rest of the game. So, yeah, we'll keep. So drew a forest, which is good. I'm going to play the plains first and pass the turn. So we have Jund colors over here. Do not care about this Torch Fiend. Play a forest and pass the turn. It's going to take 2, that's fine. I'm curious what he's kind of got going on here. Huh. Well, that card is not bad. I think we're going to cast the Midnight Guard first, just because it blocks this profitably, and stops his entire team, unless he has a trick. I mean, he could play Crosswipe Vampire or, was it Nightbird's Clutches to get through, but, you know, if he does that, we will have a Burden of Guilt to get to, you know, stop this guy. So, Midnight Guard it is. Pass the turn. Okay, that's fine. I think we have enough creatures that, or enough spells that we can play that'll prevent this from flipping. Now that is a good draw. So I'm gonna play. Let's see, do we want to attack here? We could trade here. So my thinking is I want to prey upon with the Midnight Guard and the Blade Master. And so the question is, do we want to attack first? I mean, he could attack and trade, but I feel like he's unlikely to. So yeah, I think we're going to attack. I think this is fine. When in doubt, attack, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's good. So we're going to play a Voiceless Spirit. And then prey upon here. And pass turn. I'll be happy to trade this guard for the pariah. It's cheaper. This thing has a higher upside, so to speak. Okay, that's fine here. All right. It's gonna attack with the Voiceless Spirit. There's no reason with attack here. Yeah. No, not at this point. I probably should have attacked here. It's went straight to combat and attacked. So he has to think about a combat trick, but you know, I should have done that immediately. I'm gonna play a Voiceless Spirit and just pass the turn. If he's just going to pass turn, that seems pretty good for us. Let's see what we draw, but yeah, this will be very, very good. I'm just going to attack with the spirits, play another one, and then Burden of Guilt, probably the this guy. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Just because we want to be able to tap him down just to attack through him, and he's just a better creature overall. So I think that makes most sense. This is where I really like the werewolf mechanic. You know, it teaches players to have a good enough curve that they can play things every turn, and it also sets up an interesting dynamic that makes people think about whether or not it's good enough to not play anything and flip these guys, or leave them as they are and play something from your hand. I think generally speaking, it's better just to play out your hand, unless it's you have I guess you should have a plan if you're going to flip these guys, rather than just flipping them just because you want bigger creatures. So here, yeah, I'm just gonna play the Burden of Guild on this werewolf and bash everyone. This is looking pretty good. He's gonna have to have something to deal with two of my guys. I mean, he can chump. Let's see. This may do it. Crimson Volley, maybe. Okay. Fires. Yeah, that's fine. It's kind of a bummer that he's gonna be able to flash that back on these guys. So it's a strictly a 2-for-1. But I still feel pretty good about this position that we're in right now, especially that we have these two locked down, and we have a big 5/5 coming when we draw a land. I'm going to pause while we wait for our opponent to show up. Alright, back to his turn. That's right, he flips over. That's pretty good. Oh wait, so he flung the Watch Keep at my other spirit. Okay, that makes sense. Tap down his guy in F6. Alright. My amazing girlfriend's getting me some mimosas, which is very exciting. So he's going to flash back the Fire's Vendeth. Yeah, this card's real good, especially against this deck. Yep, that's resolves. And then we're just going to play this big 5/5. And pass the turn. Probably he should attack with it. Yeah, okay, that's the right play. We're gonna take 6 from the werewolf. Huh. Sure. So my thinking is that at this point he's probably going to play a creature that can block this, and so I'd rather pull out a trick if he has it. So I'm just going to call him. And it's probably better to pull the trick out now when it's not going to hurt me that much, as opposed to waiting and him having the trick when it's relevant. I mean, he could be playing a morbid creature, which maybe that actually that probably makes the most sense. Is him playing a morbid creature post combat? Yeah, that's all right. And we win. Okay. Does he have anything? You have a Brimstone Volley? No? Okay. Sure. Yeah. Yes, gotta save my guy. So we got lethal on board. We are at 10 though. He's been able to get some big hits. This guy gets pretty huge. It's probably gotten a lot better too with the Wild Hunger. Yeah, we got this. Okay, so I think what do we want here? I kind of like the Ambush Viper. The Recluse seems pretty good against all of his big guys. And so does the Village Survivors. We saw, what did we see? We saw Fling and the Fires from him. So this Mask might be something to think about. I think I'm going to take out this Griffin just because it dies so easily to a lot of his removal that at least we've seen. I'm going to put in this Recluse, I think. Skillful Lunge seems... I mean, that game played out kind of odd, I think, because we had the triple Voiceless Spirit draw. And so this wasn't really as relevant because these guys weren't really entering into combat that much. I mean, weren't being blocked or weren't blocking. But it does seem good with this Dark Thicket Wolf and all of my other 2-drops. So I think I'm going to keep it in. I kind of do want this Mask of Avacyn. He is playing red, which traditionally has access to a lot of removal, but I'm not really sure if I want to do that. I think I'm going to try it, see how it plays. I think it could be really good. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's a bit. Obvious mulligan. Yeah, this hand's fine. It gets much better if we have another land, preferably a green source, so we can cast Travel Preparations. But we'll see what we draw. Yeah, if we could draw another land, this hand's gonna be very good. There we go. We are in business. Let's play the Heretic out there and pass the turn. Give me just a second. Alright, so he's playing the Blade Master, which is, I think, probably fine. Yeah. We have an answer to it if it gets out of hand. That's a good draw. I'm going to play a land, attack with the Heretic, and and play the Midnight Guard to use up our mana. And we do want cheaper spells just in case he plays a werewolf and we need to flip him back. But this thing adequately deals with the Blade Master. I think this card's pretty good in this format. 2/3 is relevant, basically has Vigilance. There's some flash creatures in white to make it more of a combat trick. Although one of them that I'm thinking of, the Bellringer, is more or less the same thing, so it's not too relevant. But the 3 toughness gets around some of the shock cards in this format, which is nice. Alright, so we played an Immerwolf, which is quite good. We don't have a true way to deal with it, which is kind of awkward, but that's okay. We'll figure something out. We have a good enough draw that I think we'll be able to erase it. Ooh, that's a great card to draw. I think we just travel prep these 2 and bash. We have the ability to prey upon and flashback next turn if we don't draw anything. He may also just attack with this to just get some counters on it, and then leave it back next turn. Yeah, that makes sense. So he's attacking with both, okay. So that's pretty good. I think we're going to get him good here. Okay. So drew a land, which is definitely good. So I think the play here is to flashback travel preps on these 2, attack, and then prey upon on here. I don't want this to get out of hand, and it very well could. Yeah, it seems like the right play. I think Wizards of the Coast going to more of these types of cards where they add counters instead of just give a temporary pump is, I think, a very good decision, and it makes it. I mean, it does make it so that it's harder to come back from these types of cards, but they like these types of effects where it's just you're spending a card for a power toughness boost haven't been very high picks and very influential, but when they become permanent, it's much better. Especially this card is obviously the best one of those because you can spread the counters around and it's so cheap. But I think it's a good call by Wizards of the Coast to go in that direction. Okay, and prey upon. And we're in business. I'll have to see what he plays here. Ideally, okay, that's fine. So he clearly was not attacking with that anyways, because he would have played this post-combat. 4-2, okay. So we can't give it first strike. So he's going to trade. The question is, do I want this to trade? Because I can play this before combat. He's forced to block. So if something's going to die, so this is going to flip into a 5-4. which I think sounds pretty good. I mean, I could Burden of Guilt this, but you know, now that I think about it, that's probably a better play. If I Burden of Guilt this, attack with both, he's forced to block one of these, and so this will become a 3-1, so it doesn't trade with either of these. You know, I like that play a lot better. And then we can play the Wolf post-combat. Actually, I'm going to wait, just in case he plays... No. That probably was the wrong play. I kind of wanted to be able to tap this at end of turn. But, yeah, it doesn't really matter. So that's round 1.